one of the big things that's come up in many instances is how do you protect the data? That's the key thing that you as end users in the shared cloud security model, all of you need to own the data. This is where Cigent comes into play. We're going to ask Dave to talk about their solution. And again, if a lot of three-letter government agencies through In-Q-Tel, which is the federal government's VC firm, are supporting Cigent, I don't know exactly what goes on because I don't have super top secret clearance, but they're coming up with a whole suite of technology that's going to be commercialized. Let's hear a little more from Dave.
Thanks, Ron. Hi, everyone. And thanks for the intro there, Ron. You've helped me shorten up my presentation just by a little bit. And I'm just going to be giving a very brief presentation on one of Cigent's solutions named Dynamic Data Defense Engine, which is really employing some of the latest frameworks in cybersecurity, which is the zero trust model down at the data layer. So I'm just going to jump right to it and give you an idea of what it is that we're trying to solve here. So, I don't think I have to tell anybody on this call, that the cybersecurity issues that continue to plague us, and even worse now in the work from home model that we're finding ourselves in these days, ransomware and diabolical attackers continue to plague us, and really with the objective of getting at what is most valuable to them, which is your data. And this is applicable to consumers, to businesses, and as Ron mentioned, we are backed by In-Q-Tel, which means we're also focused on protecting our nation's data on top of that. But in short, what this product is doing is it's bringing the best practices of cybersecurity right down to the file level. So what does that mean? It means that we're changing the game a little bit and following this zero trust model in that we allow the end users and businesses to define a protect surface, which is opposed to an attack surface, which is a very large area. We're saying, what is it that's most important to you and what is it that you really want to protect? And circle those defenses right around that which you find, which is most valuable to you and your business, which is your data. And we're doing it in a very unique and different way that I'll show you shortly. But this layered defense goes all the way down to the firmware level. So Cigent provides solutions that are both software and firmware based that I'll explain a little bit more in a second. What you'll see is unique to this type of approach is that we are employing the best practice of a second factor of authentication in a way that's really not been done before, and it's also posture aware protection. So what that means is that the protection that's put on top of your data will change based upon the posture of or the threat landscape on the endpoint or in your environment that works as part of a larger ecosystem of solutions that you might already have in place. So in short, it's really this idea of zero trust down at the data layer to try and protect what it is that the bad guys are really after. So it really just starts with what is it that you're trying to protect, the data, which is the most important thing, and putting a level of access control around that. And it has a number of threat sensors built into it that fill some gaps in current solutions that include things like deceptions, where the product will put in place some file or network level deceptions to try and catch the bad actors in their activity, and if that is the case, that it will raise the protection on the data such that it will always require a second factor of authentication to get at it. And all of this can be controlled and managed from a central location. So at this point, you're probably a little bit confused saying, what is it and what does this mean and how does it really work? Simply put, the way that this works is if you go to open up a file that's being protected by this solution, you will be challenged by a second factor of authentication. It could be a fingerprint, it could be your facial recognition, it could be a PIN, It could be through Cisco Duo integration. It could be through any second factor of authentication. Once the user touches their finger to the fingerprint reader, the file opens. It's really no more complicated than that. But really, that simple act of putting a second factor of authentication in front of a file access stops things like ransomware in its tracks. It stops a vengeful insider from coming up and trying to use your device or take your external storage device and try and copy the data off on another location. Even if your credentials are compromised, if someone else in your organization has your username or password or some outside of your organization, they don't have your fingerprint. They don't have your face, therefore they can't open the file. And this is a very low friction mechanism because when you want to employ a security solution in your environment or for customers, you want to do it in such a way that it's very simple for them to continue to use it. You don't want to make it intrusive on their daily lives. You want to continue to protect all of the data that's most important to them and to your business, because now they're taking that information onto their devices that are at home and it's outside of the surface that you can protect easily. So the question that often comes up at this point is, well, why do I need this if I already have one of these solutions? And I just kind of put down some of the things that we've heard over time, and things like full disk encryption protect your data while it's rest, but once you put your password in to decrypt your hard drive, that data is completely exposed to things like ransomware and exfiltration. And cloud file storage does a great job of backing up your data, keeping it, but it doesn't protect it from exfiltration. If you are compromised, that data is exfiltrated and copied away and can be used against you or your organization, even if the data can be restored from a previous backup or somewhere on OneDrive or Dropbox. And of course, next-gen AV and EDR, those are all very important solutions and need to remain in place. However, they don't always protect you when things like your credentials have been compromised, or if someone else, a vicious insider, wants to take your data away. They need, those types of solutions really aren't really adept at catching those types or preventing those types of compromises. So the question comes back to who's using this and who are we working with? We work with everyone from consumers all the way to government organizations. Obviously, everybody has data that it is that they want to protect. Pharmaceutical companies that want to protect their research and IP. We have working with a weather detection, threat detection company that they have researchers that carry around very important data, and they have suppliers that keep that data on external hard drives. And we have not only this software solution, but we have our own enhanced SSDs, such that we are protecting and encrypting that data in a way that's non-recoverable and non-retrievable and instantaneously locks upon a threat being detected and cannot be compromised either by physical or software means otherwise. We also work very closely with very large MSPs that are trying to extend their offerings to others, and we have a complete MSP solution such that small and medium businesses can outsource the configuration and deployment of this solution, and it can be remotely monitored and managed for them. We have a whole range of solution offerings for customers, from anywhere from consumers to large organizations that are interested in protecting this very valuable data that is oftentimes sitting on employee or remote desktops and cannot be compromised or exfiltrated in any sort of way. If you or anyone, hopefully I've just done enough here to give you an understanding of what the solution is trying to do. If you're interested in giving it a try, you can actually get a free 1-month subscription to both our personal or business solutions for yourself or for your organization by going to our website and signing up. And you can download the product and use it for a month for free and give it a try and see how it works in your environment. And that's it, Ron. Thank you for the time.